What's going on, y'all? Rob Anderson, Clean Power Wash, Delmarva Christmas lights. Making this video to show you how we take care of doing our Christmas light mock-ups for takedowns, mocking them up on the computer. This video is for both internal and external purposes. If you're interested as a contractor in checking out CompanyCam, use the link companycam.com/Rob. I do get a little bit of a kickback for that, but it's a service we've been using for the last 2 years. I absolutely love it. We've got 7 accounts right now on it, and I've personally uploaded almost 30,000 pictures to it. The picture functionality, the videos, being able to do the mock-ups, being able to look at this. Honestly, we're in our CRM price 50% of the day. The other 40% in CompanyCam, the other 10% in other miscellaneous things. So want to show you a couple things. So first of all, this is our training takedown sheet. Or at least a version of it. We've now changed it so that it's a little bit better up top here, but name, phone number, date, address, technicians, total takedown time, total man hours or total hours, basically 3 techs for an hour, that's 3 hours, 1 tech for 2 hours, that's just 2 hours. For light counts, whatever color was on it, so if it is red, white, green, or if it's just all warm white. Minis, number and color, size reads, how many, if there's garland, bows, and then here's for the roof line lighting. So our red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, white, black. Those are the current colors available in CompanyCam for your mock-ups. And then we have a little checkbox that we did, took pictures, and then also did a video of the actual product itself. In this spot, we're going to end up putting 2 pictures or more once they've been mocked up. The office basically goes back in here. They type in all the information that's been written down by the technicians. And then we'll actually print this out, laminate it. If it's something where it's a larger project and it actually needs to have pictures on the back, we can do that as well. And then be able to print that out and also leave the original or a copy of it in the actual customer profile. So just want to kind of go through a couple of these things. This is how our takedown sheets used to look, or mock-ups. So we would have our X wires coming over here, doing all this stuff. We got blue line, red, or reddish orange or whatever, and then yellow. Problem with this and what we're trying to do now is we want to have it set up so that, again, going back to that first, go back to this picture. Our first C9 strand is going to be the red C9 strand. It's going to be labeled with a red zip tie on the male plug. And the reason why we're doing that is so that on a install, so for this particular house, this is actually how we're going to do the mock-up. This red, this is our first section of C9. If we install this first, then we can install this one second. If we install this section first, there's nothing powering it. So when we reinstall, we want to do everything with power so we can see as we're going. We don't want to plug it in at the last minute and then find out, oh man, there's 3 bulbs that were out. So this is our red section. This is our orange. Again, hoping that CompanyCam will actually come up with a better orange. This is your bright yellow. And then, so red, orange, yellow, green going here and coming back. And then blue. So blue is this left side. We really don't need to see too much on that left side of the house. It's pretty straightforward. This right side does go all the way up and back. You see we've got just the one arrow, and then because it was a bunch of clicking through here, I actually used the dot or this line option. So I'm actually going to go through and let's just delete everything real quick, and we're going to show you how we would do this. Now, for the technicians, when you go down to do your sheet to begin with, you'd have a picture of this house, and in the field we're going to go ahead and not necessarily, we're going to take the colors, we're going to draw our lines on there with a marker, put our zip ties and everything, and then when we come back in a nice climate controlled environment, be able to hop on the computer, put the colors actually on here and actually make it look way more presentable. We'll still take pictures of the mocked up sheet with those pictures and everything on it, so that that's still just another level that can be able to help us. Black as far as your X wire, In this particular install, the power outlet's right here. Power goes over here. It goes up along this back J channel. It's up here. And also there's an inline female there. And then we also ran X wire across the top of this so there wouldn't be any tripping hazards. Didn't want to really go over this spot, and we only wrapped around the actual upper pillar. We did not go around the stone at the bottom. So our first section, we're going to do our arrow, go to red. A couple little things that can speed this up is your little copy and paste feature. So I'm going to copy this one, bring this line over. Now the beginning of your arrow, this is your female, or sorry, this is your male. This is what starts the start of your C9 is your male plug. So that's the beginning of your arrow. It continues on, and then we've got one more, copy and paste that one. So this goes here, and that's it. Now this does not mean that there's a female here and then a male on this section and then a female. This is just saying this is where it begins, and then continue the arrow this way. I'm going to copy here. So we do have a little X wire that goes along right here. Make this white. And then we copy here. So our second section, switch over to that orange, and then finishes right there. Now, our third section is definitely right here. Goes up. So red, orange, yellow. So we want to switch that. Now once you get past the first couple sections, you may have a different idea which way this should go. That's perfectly fine as long as it's still red, orange, yellow, as long as you're going in order. And also, once I've installed this section, I can now get power to do this section. Or from right here, I actually have two females. So I do have this left side. This could be green, and this could be blue, or this could be green, and this could be blue. Doesn't really matter. Copy here. We have another X wire that jumps from here to here. Okay. And then this, we're going to go ahead and, like I said, we're going to make this our green. And then I'm going to switch over to the line item. Or not line item, but to the line tool. Click here, go down, over. Again, this is indicating we go to the peak. And this is indicating that we go to the rear. So we're done with that. Let's go back to our arrow. Blue. And then as far as your pillars, you can do one, green here, and that's that. Yeah. However big you want to make this, that's fine. You don't necessarily have to have that, but that's where all this is going. There's minis along the fence that we ran. And hopefully all this makes sense. So that's that one. Again, blue and green could have been swapped. Wouldn't be that big of a deal. It's taken about 4 or 5 minutes to go ahead and go through that also while explaining this to you. If we do happen to go through all of our colors, so red, orange, yellow, green, black, white, black, or pink, white, black, whatever, then we would go through and we would do a red, white, a orange and white, yellow and white, green and white as far as our zip ties. So to show you a more elaborate one, this is how it used to look, and these arrows are crazy looking. If I actually go into edit mode, should actually be able to shrink them, but this was actually how we downloaded it, so it looked kind of crazy there. We don't put this many wreaths actually on my house, but we're playing around with the house to make it look like this. Yes, discard changes. So we're going to go back to this. This is actually how we would want this to look going forward. So we lit up my house and did everything. We did the hips, the ridges, put crazy amounts of reeds and everything. But ultimately, we start here as our power outlet, come across here with our X wire, goes up and connects up here to this line and to this line. This red C9 here, that's our first section. If I wanted to do this is the orange and this is the yellow, that'd be fine. But really, if I'm up here and I'm installing this section, I'm probably going to go ahead and knock this out for this orange. And then this ridge, I went ahead and made this orange and white. So put 2 zip ties on it. That way we know that this, we'd have a female up here on this line. Put a female, put the 2 color zip ties around it, and then that this is going to be our, this is our orange ridge line. This is our red hip. This yellow line continues on over and around. We have an X wire that connects here to here. We would have a, on the female for the X wire, or sorry, on the male for the X wire here, we would have a red zip tie, and then also a red on the end of the female for that one. We'd have a yellow zip tie on the female here, so we know that this section is getting connected to the yellow C9, and then come up here, and then this final female on the X wire is going to have a green zip tie. That comes up here, comes down and over. So we've got our red, orange, yellow, green. Then we jump to blue. That goes over there. Now we have pink and purple here. 2 things, we do this right side of the house. So we made that purple. Really, again, once we're getting beyond this, it doesn't mean that that section is not connected to the blue section at all. We didn't do the back gutter line on my house. But that's how we've got everything else. And then this pink, we did this pink ridge because it's coming off this blue. You can also do this if it's sections that are dramatically different in size. You wouldn't want to do one that's 80-foot section and a 90-foot section. They're too close when you're looking at it on the ground, but you could clearly see a difference between this, which is about 12 or 15 bulbs, and this ridge that's about 35 bulbs. It's a dramatic difference in size for that, but we put the white line and the blue line there, so we know this is going to connect here. Other X wires, so X wire comes to these bushes, goes all the way across to the far right. That's it. Put 2022. If a client has a bunch of different size reeds, we can put that and see also replace 3C9 warm white, 24-inch reeds, pillars 2 strands each. These comments in here are extremely helpful. We're also going to make a video of this. So when we first show up to the house, we want to turn all the lights on. You may not even be able to tell that they're on, but hey, during the day and also with it being winter time, sometimes we can get an idea. Show where all the light bulbs are. That's a big thing. So somebody's not, well, I had light bulbs in this other area last year. Actually, ma'am, here's a picture from last year. We didn't, but if you're interested, we could certainly see about getting them added on. But so we would do a thing saying, hey, so the X wire comes over here, goes up. We've got our first line of power of C9 that goes across. We got a line that goes up here and down, and on the right side of the garage, we've got this one that goes up here. Got a ridge line on here, a little hip. This X wire connects up here. Basically, what I've done explaining how we're doing this. But we want a video, we want pictures, and a house like this too, having multiple pictures so we can clearly see this right side would be helpful. If there's different size wreaths, we can also add this on. So let's just say 24. If for whatever reason the wreaths are not still up there because you forgot to take this picture, what we want to do at that point then is go ahead and put the green circles on those spots. Now this one, that's over 24. This one's a 36. Okay, so we want to see that that's a 36-inch. Those are all 24s. This is where the comments on this particular section can be very helpful. Windows have 24-inch wreaths, upper front peak, 36-inch wreath, 36-inch on door, etc. Show you basic install. So this particular one, we have our X-wire coming up. This is our red line, first most basic, then our orange, then our yellow. That's it. This wreath is a 36-inch wreath. And other than that, the only thing we would add on is pillars 1 strand each, which could simply be pillars 1 strand each. Let me just hit enter and post. So there's that. And it shows who commented, who put that in there, when they put that on. This is another view of that house. So you can see, again, we could do red, orange, yellow. You can see this is actually where that was hanging down. That's fun, because then we had to go out and fix it. But it's a beautiful picture as long as you're not looking at it too long. A house like this, it's got a lot more stuff going on. So this is our first section. We got red coming up, down, over, and across. Power comes up here. So this would be our orange. Goes all the way over and up and back. Our yellow would be coming up and going back. They added this extra stuff on. So this is going to be our green section. Go through all here and back. And then for our ridges, so these two ridges are the exact same. I'd put our orange, or orange and white basically for our ridge lines. This particular one, we would add, upper ridge lines are magnetic. If you've got a bunch of ridge lines or a bunch of stuff that's similar, you can put, ridge line, two matching ridge lines, 8 bulbs each on these ones, and I think there's 15 to 18 bulbs on this peak. And then this ridge, quite frankly, depending on which way we're going, I believe actually it went from right to left, so I would make this a yellow ridge line. If you don't have a lot of ridge lines, like this one has too much to not use 2 colors, so this would be our yellow and white line coming across. We did these ridges. When you get into windows, you're going to just make your little square. Your windows obviously are going to have your window clips or light clip strips on them. That's going to be a bit different for it. But this window and this window are the exact same size. They're fully interchangeable with each other. I believe these ones are actually just a little bit bigger. And then these ones obviously are different, but we could do these ones as yellow. We also added these ones on too. This is a very large project that we do. So these ones could all be white window, white window. I don't need to make this as the red window and this is the white window because they're the exact same size. They're interchangeable and we can swap them back and forth. This one we use a ton of garland. You can see it everywhere. We would have our wreath up here, 60-inch wreath, 48, 48, showing the minis around all these. And we can also have an arrow pointing to where the wire starts, so we can add something on that. That's pretty much it. These ones, you can see the bows in them. We would want to indicate on the actual picture that we did that. Let's get this finished here. So yeah, hopefully that helps understand this. If you have other questions, please let us know. That's in the comments. Again, this is going to be viewed for everybody watching here live and in person. But again, hopefully this makes sense. And so then when we go to do these, the only other thing that we want to do is that when we're putting this, now this is a huge install. This is going to be multiple bins. But think about it. We want to make sure that our red C9 section is on top. We want to make sure that this back section, our last sections, our ridge lines and stuff, that they're at the bottom of the bin. And then we want to make sure that our X wires are on top. And with that being said, we want to make sure that any X wires that are connected to those sections stay with those sections. The X wire that's going to this section of window, well, I want to keep that there. I don't want to try and figure out that this had a smaller or larger section of X wire going this way, or things getting messed up with that. And again, we'll do a picture and multiple pictures, a video of the overall setup before we start takedown. And then we need to make sure that we take an after picture, that it's all been taken down, that we've done a good job cleaning up the job site. Take a picture of the work order, like the sketched up mock-up that we've got for it. Any other comments, notes, anything else that we need to put on there. The section has actually been changed over to say notes. Track our takedown time, make sure that we complete all of these projects in Customer Factor so we can have those notifications being sent to the client that they're all done, send them the thank you sequences and everything. But this really does enable our crews. Next year they show up to the house, they pull up the picture and video. Okay, well, there is a lot going on here. This is a $5,000 install. Okay, let's go ahead and get our X wire that goes right here, and let's start installing these sections. Installing with power, you shouldn't have to make any other modifications. Get it done. So again, if you're a contractor and you're interested in being able to sign up, CompanyCam.com/Rob. If you've got other questions, shoot me a message on YouTube, and I will see what I can do to help you out. We've been using this again for several years. Love it, love it, love it. Again, all this stuff we'll be able to see, like, hey, Rob did an awesome job on his picture, or Rob did a really crappy job on his picture. What in the world is this? So the goal is to do a good job. But anyways,